My people, it's just an update. I came out from DSSS where I went to see nnamdi Kanu, and I received series of messages that Aloy Ejimako collapsed at a Kuje Correctional Center where he was remanded. So I rushed to the Kuje Correctional Center and I demanded to see him. So the officer in charge directed that the officer should accompany me to the clinic where he was admitted. So I met him and we discussed and I asked him, so he told me how everything happened. So, you know, such a man of over 70 years, you used to tear gas him, you treated him like a criminal, you subject him to such ill treatment. So, you know, we don't expect his body chemistry to be the same. So, and it's very unfortunate because this is what we call executive recklessness that leads to this. And they use judiciary to perfect the illegality, because had it been that the magistrate, having known that this is an act of intimidation, this is an act of lawlessness, you shouldn't have even you should just release such a man on self-recognition. On self-recognition, we have seen where people committed very big crime in this country. They release them on self-recognition. Not talk about a very senior lawyer, a man of over 70 years. It's rather unfortunate. So he has he met up with the bail condition given to him by the court and the other protesters. So and they perfected it. So it's for the judge to sign for order for release. That was around 11 yesterday, Friday, 24th. We waited for the judge from 11 in the morning till around 6 p.m. when we left from the court. The judge was nowhere to be found. People were the registrar, everybody were waiting for him. So I don't know what they want to achieve. It's unfortunate. So I saw him there, just like I said. I saw Omoyele Sowore, I saw Prince Kanu, I saw Barisakindu Mokere, and some other protesters. So I believe. So by Monday they will be out.
All right. So straight out, what do you stand for or against concerning the lawyers?
Why should we even contemplate the issue of disbarment as if that's the only kind of sanction you give to a lawyer? If you perceive that he's done something wrong, you can reprimand him, you can suspend him, you can do anything, but not disbarment. So I think, but that is very far from to be considered in this issue.
Has he done anything wrong?
No, absolutely not, because you must consider Aloy Ejimako first and foremost as a Nigerian citizen who's got rights as a citizen to demonstrate, to be part of a protest. And then two, he does in every way hold some measure of professional responsibility to both the courts and to the legal profession. There's no doubt about that. So we must therefore now make a distinction between his responsibility and rights as a citizen of Nigeria and his responsibility to the court. So did he in any way offend the court? When you say a matter is sub judice, it means that it's under consideration by the courts. And when you also say that lawyers, particularly under the rules of professional conduct, specifically rule number 33, should not, make public statements with regards to matters that they are involved in. It's clear, because the aim is that do not make such statement to either put pressure on the court, to influence the court, or influence the public. So what Aloy was doing by being present, just being present at a protest, at a rally, does that amount to in any way as putting pressure on the courts? Yeah, it doesn't in any way. Because, and then most importantly, Did he organize a protest? Did he call for a protest? He was simply part of the protest. If I am working to free my clients, and then I see a number of persons who consider that my client is in detention today for political reason more than legal, and they are holding a rally, and I happen to be present there by way of any form of solidarity as a citizen of Nigeria, am I trying to influence the court? Am I trying to influence the judge? So the unfortunate thing, and we must know this, is that if we think that Aloy has gone past his remit as a professional, as a lawyer in a matter that is appearing in, and then which means virtually every senior lawyer, every lawyer who has spoken to the press immediately after leaving the court hearing has actually violated that rule. I hope we all know that. So yes, because those actions have been more prejudicial to the cases that they are appearing than whatever Aloy did, expressing his right as a citizen of Nigeria.
Oh, well, that's quite interesting.
Of course it is, because the rule is quite clear. Anytime a lawyer makes a statement in public, when a case is anticipated or when a case is going on, especially when he is involved in a matter, it violates the sub judice rule. And we see it every now and then, lawyers, especially senior advocates, as a form of one subtle advertisement or the other is offensive to our profession. It's wrong. I, as a lawyer, will never make a statement concerning a matter that I'm appearing in. So we're doing all sort of things, and then we've been accepting them, and then it comes to Aloy's own. Is it because it's involving nnamdi Kanu now? We are now waking up some strange.
Let me get you right. Are you saying that if you leave a court room, you cannot grant it?
As a lawyer participating in a matter, immediately in fact, there is an express rule against it, Rule 33 of the Rules of Professional Conduct, as amended in 2023. You cannot address the press with regards to the fact of the matter, with regards to any issue relating to that matter.
So, Frank, why is it occurring? Why is it happening?
Because it's against the sub judice rule. Even though it's a common law rule, we don't have any express statute against it. But they are all, but we have
no express statute.
No, but again, how do you not look at what is the role or what is the status of the Rules of Professional Conduct? It's express that you cannot address the press, and we do it all the time. And look, the courts accept it. The Bar Association accepts it. There is no reprimand. Nobody has reprimanded. It's wrong, because there is room for journalists to be in the court all the time to observe proceedings, to take note of the things, and they report in such a manner that is not prejudicial, that does not undermine the integrity and the independence and impartiality of the court. But we see this every time being breached, and we don't have anybody raising dust. It comes to that of nnamdi Kanu, and the respected Aloy Ejimako is now an issue. So why should it be?
Before I go to my next question, just this one. All you're saying now, what does the Constitution particularly say about this?
Look,
I mean, it's the ground norm.
Yes, the Constitution says, under Section 39, the citizen of Nigeria has a right to hold opinion and express it. Under Section 40, the Nigerian citizen has a right to congregate, to meet anywhere in any part of Nigeria, and then express himself and take part in it. Under Section 41, he has a right to move about anywhere, go to Kafanshan, go to anywhere, and then express himself. He hasn't offended the Constitution as a citizen of Nigeria.
All right.
It doesn't exclude the fact that he has some professional responsibility to the legal practitioner. Yes, I mean the legal profession. However, has he offended the court? Was he attempting to influence the court? Was he attempting to intimidate the judge? Absolutely not. He was present at the protest that was aimed at President Tinubu to take a political decision, ask your Attorney General to withdraw charges against nnamdi Kanu, or rather release nnamdi Kanu. Well, how could that be offensive? Right. For goodness sake.
Fine. What do you even make of his arrest and the arrest of those who participated in this project?
Oh, well, I found that quite sad. Very, very sad. And in any way, I'm careful, because when we promote human rights, we try to balance it with the responsibility to also promote the fact that there has to be peace. I think that was tainted. The point is that should he have been arrested? I don't know. I mean, but when the police gave a reason for arresting him, that he was present in a place where a certain court order, barred people from protesting. These are issues of fact. The point is that, was he named in that court order? What was he doing? Just by being present, should he they have been arrested? And again, what is the process, in determining the criminality of whoever, what was wrong or who was offending a particular order of court? Should that be left to the court? We're talking about a legal practitioner who is, present at a rally, at a demonstration, a peaceful one, non-violent, absolutely not offending any known law. Why should I arrest him? Now, those are all the dimensions that point to the fact that this whole thing about nnamdi Kanu is political. And I've maintained that position. And that's the reason why its solution lies in the political power, and particularly that of the president.
Let me ask you this. The police say it is standard procedure to keep a suspect in custody until bail conditions are met, correct? That's
not very correct. The point is that the moment the police hands over a suspect or an accused person to the court, its job ends there. It's respect. Don't forget, the court has a belief, the court has a sheriff that takes responsibility of the accused person, that determines. It's not the police that, there's this wrong procedure we experience all the time in court, where where after bail has been perfected, you still have to take that bail, the perfected documents to the prosecutor to examine whether they are in accordance with the pronouncement of the court before the person is released. All sort of violation of our rights. The good thing about it is that this is happening.
This is a serious matter.
Of course it is. Absolutely serious.
Because this goes on and on. Are you saying that the police,
it didn't have any business anymore? The moment or whoever was as an accused person was handed over to the court.
Why does it keep happening?
Oh, because we have not challenged it. Because we keep failing to observe known standards, and we allow them. The same way the lawyers violate the rule against them, the sub judice rule, when the time they make pronouncements when they come out from court and the courts tolerate it. That's the same way the courts have tolerated their powers being taken over by the police. The court is in the custody of the court. It's in the court to determine that, look, go to the police,
my time is gone.
Go to the prison or remain in court.
Okay, quickly. Is the police handling this right? Are Showore and his people, are they handling it right?
I think I'm sympathetic to the police, those officers of the police force, because they have to obey certain political orders, even when they know that what they are doing is wrong. And then when you ask me as to whether Showore, I'm also sympathetic to Showore. In fact, I'm very sympathetic to him. I believe he's doing the right thing. Again, there is no restraint to the level.
Is the court order?
Oh, well, the point is that I'm not aware whether he was served.
Even though he said he wasn't served.
But the point is this: if he has chosen to disobey an order of court, then let him face the consequences. Okay. And that consequence, let me tell you. Let me tell you.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying what you said. Yes. Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that. Very interesting submissions. Thank you so much, Frank Titi, lawyer and Arise analyst. Always interesting to have you.
My pleasure.
Discuss. Like I said, you always vibrate.
I have been, as a researcher, I've been going through the laws to see the law that say that a lawyer cannot protest or participate in protest against injustice, or when the right of his client is being violated. I'm here to see the law. Assuming that there is a law, that law cannot be applied as a valid law, because the Constitution said any law that contravenes any provisions of the Constitution, that particular law should be in abeyance. Now, having said that, we are not protesting, asking court to give us judgment. Get it right. We never protested against any issue that has to do with court.
The hashtag is free nnamdi Kanu. So what are you protesting for?
I'm coming. Okay. So we are now asking that free nnamdi Kanu now, because your actions, we are not talking about the executive, towards discriminating against him. What do we mean? Now let me start from the judicial angle. Courts, 5 courts, 2 foreign courts and 3 local courts has given judgment in favor of nnamdi Kanu against federal government. 1 even awarded 1 billion naira in his favor against federal government. The other one awarded 500 million naira in his favor against federal government. Court of Appeal, the 3-man panel, the discharge nnamdi Kanu, and federal government refused to comply with that law until after close to 2 weeks. They now remember that they can file stay of execution. Then they file it in court and went to Supreme Court. Now, that one is on that. Now, the president now, instead of looking at all these issues, rather what the president did is this. He now directed the police and the army to go to the north, to go and negotiate and discuss with bandits. And all of us saw it with our naked eyes. Those who are committing the acts. Secondly, the president now come back and see all those people. Court said, you are a murderer, you should die by hanging. You are a drug addict, you should serve sentence. President came back and pardoned all of them. And said that when you talk about that of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they said that one is in court. Now, Mariam Sanda, her own matter is still pending at the Supreme Court. The president did not even ask the lady, go and withdraw your appeal at the Supreme Court before I consider you, simply because she's from the north. All right. Now, when you see all these things, you see that this is a discrimination against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the Igbos, which is against Section 42 of the Constitution, which say that you don't discriminate against anybody because of his religion, sex, tribe, or whatever thing. Okay, Dr. Opara, as a lawyer, you do understand the importance of dealing in facts and facts only. You've raised the allegation. First, you said the president, instructed people to go and negotiate with bandits. You do not have evidence to that. You also said the president released Mariam Sanda. As a lawyer and a learned person, you know the process for prerogative of mercy before it gets to the president's table. Yeah. So let's deal with facts and on your client's case. So when you say there is, what you term, how would you term this against your client? Because you're saying it seems to be biased. You are saying the executive is biased. Yes. But this case is in court. I'm not saying that. Is it the only case that is in court? Is this a cry for help? Let me ask you. Yes. Is this a cry for help because you feel that you will not get justice in the courts? That's why you decided to go to the streets? No. We are saying that the president is number one person. He has the power under the Constitution to direct his Attorney General to discontinue any charge. He has the power to grant presidential pardon. He has the power to resolve, and he has been doing it. We have seen it. Presidential pardons are given to convicted individuals. He's still undergoing trial. Can you listen so that you understand where I'm going? So that we don't confuse our public as well. Yes. I need to speak in facts. Yes. Yes. We are saying that there is a judgment against the government in favor of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Have you complied with that? What stops you from complying with that particular judgment? Was it not appealed to a higher court? No. Those ones are not appealed. Including Kenya. Kenya in their judgment called, there is no name they did not call Nigerian government in kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu. Now what we are talking about is that when you are exercising your power as a president, you should exercise it in a situation whereby people will not see that you are dividing the country. You are discriminating against a particular tribe. It is wrong, and people need to protest against that. So this is about ethnicity according to you? Of course. All right, let's, without prejudice to the court, help us understand this because you're a lawyer. Currently, prosecution has closed its case, as I understand it. Yes. There was a no case submission filed. Yes. It was overruled. Yes. The defendant, you're called to come and open your trial. By 23rd. By on the 23rd, yes. Which is 2 days away from now. We are good to go. But you're on the streets. Protesting? Yes. Which law said that I cannot protest? I want to get, may I be guided? Which law said that I cannot protest? Do you know the meaning of protest? That I cannot complain. I'm not saying you cannot protest. I'm saying protest means complain. Protest means complain. That's the meaning of protest. And you don't, can I ask you? It means expressing what you have in mind, so that the president can right the wrong. So this is about the president. You're calling on the president. On the president, not on the judiciary. Not the judiciary. Not on the judiciary. Okay, so my final question to you before I let you go. Do you have faith in the Nigerian judiciary to prosecute this case? Well, I can say yes and no. Why should I say yes? Yeah. Why I say yes is that because I have seen where judges, Nigerian judiciary delivered judgment where all of us clap. Okay. I can also say no, where we have seen a judgment that if such a thing happened, just like that of Nnamdi Kanu, Court of Appeal gave judgment. Forthwith, federal government refused. After close to 2 weeks, the same government have the audacity to meet the same Court of Appeal, asking them to stay execution, the first in history.
case in the first in history, you now stay execution, staying what, and it was granted before the now goes court of appeal. So in that particular instance, if you should ask me, judiciary did not behave well. But we have seen where judiciary look at the government, they say this one is wrong, and they give judgment against them. That's why I said yes and no.
Okay, great. As a Nigerian, I mean, you have the fundamental rights to protest on any matter. Thank you so much for coming on the news tonight. We do appreciate your time.
It's my pleasure.
Dr. Opara is a human rights activist and a lawyer.
So guys, you had the conversation, right? They really spoke well. So guys, I want to point out something. It's as if they are looking over it. Why? That's the main point in Kanu's case. His illegal rendition from Kenya to Nigeria, guys. That is the Oga Pata Pata facts. That is the main case here. That is the point. Nigerians are supposed to be looking to, in fact, Justice Omotoso is not supposed to shy away from these truths, guys. So the fact is that Kanu in June 2021, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, nnamdi Kanu, was adopted in Kenya and secretly transferred to Nigeria in what has been widely condemned as an act of extraordinary rendition, guys, a serious breach of international law. Yet, despite this glaring illegality, his trial in Nigeria is still ongoing. Why? Why are they leaving people that kidnapped him and going after the person that was kidnapped? Does it even make any sense? So what keeps this case alive is defiance of justice and international convention. Guys, let's talk more about this. So, according to reports confirmed by the family and legal team of nnamdi Kanu, Kanu was not extradited through a lawful process. He was adopted by unknown men in Nairobi, detained and flown to Nigeria without any Kenya court order or diplomatic procedures, guys. This United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention later confirmed this as an illegal rendition and demanded his immediate release and compensation. So you can see in 2025, a Kenya High Court officially ruled that Kanu's adoption and transfer violated Kenya's extradition law and international treaties, awarding him 120 million naira in charges against the Kenyan authorities. So if his transfer was unlawful, how can Nigerian courts still try him? Here lies the heart of the matter, guys. Under international law, specifically the principle of jurisdictional property, a person brought in the country illegally cannot be lawfully tried there. This is the legal foundation of what lawyers call extraordinary rendition. It violates not only Kenya's sovereignty but also Nigeria's own constitution, which upholds due process. Yet, Nigerian federal government continues to press treason and terrorism-related charges against Kanu, arguing that the manner of his arrest does not nullify the charges themselves. It simply terms the government's stance is yes, he was brought here illegally, but now that he is here, he must face trial. Does it even make sense at all? So, but Kanu's case is not merely legal, it's deeply political. Since 2015, his advocacy for Biafra independence has shaken Nigerians' unity discourse. To the Nigerian state, Kanu represents a challenge to national cohesion. To his followers, he represents freedom from decades of marginalization. So this political tension makes his release a symbolic risk for those in power. No administration from Buhari to Tinubu wants to appear weak before separatist movement or admit wrongdoing in his rendition. Hence, the trial continues not purely as a matter of law but as an instrument of control. The Nigerian judiciary stands at a moral and constitutional crossroads. In October, guys, 2022, the Court of Appeal discharged and acquitted Kanu, ruling that his extraordinary rendition stripped Nigerian court of jurisdiction over his case. Kanu always said this: no court has the jurisdiction to try him. However, the federal government quickly appealed to the Supreme Court, which later overturned the discharge, allowing the trial to continue. You can see the manipulation there. So this decision sparked outrage among human rights observers who saw it as judicial compromise under political pressure. Even now, legal experts argue that continuing the trial legitimizes any illegal act undermining Nigeria's global image and domestic rule of law. So guys, you can see it. So this is why I always say Kanu needs prayers, actually, because this is not more a legal case. This is more than a legal case. So what do you think about this? Let me know that in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.